In 1995, a man walked into a bank in Pittsburgh. He didn't wear a mask. He didn't hide his face. He just smiled at the security cameras. Why? Because he thought he was invisible. His name was MacArthur Wheeler, and his plan was simple. He had covered his face in lemon juice. You see, lemon juice is used to make invisible ink, so logically, if you rub it on your face, you become invisible to cameras. At least, that's what Wheeler believed. He was arrested that same night, less than 1 hour after the footage aired on the 11 o'clock news. When police showed him the security tapes, he stared at the screen in total disbelief. And then, he whispered 4 words that would change psychology forever. But I wore the juice. This is where our story gets interesting, because 4 years later, 2 psychologists at Cornell University read about Wheeler's arrest in a newspaper. And they had a question. How can someone be so wrong and at the same time be so confident they're right? Their names were David Dunning and Justin Kruger, and what they discovered became one of the most famous psychological effects in history, the Dunning-Kruger Effect. The less you know about something, the more confident you are that you know everything. In 1999, Dunning and Kruger ran an experiment at Cornell. They gave students 3 tests: humor, logic, grammar. These were real tests with objective answers. The jokes had been rated by professional comedians. The logic problems came straight from the LSAT. After the tests, they asked each student one simple question. How well do you think you did compared to everyone else? The results were disturbing. Students who scored in the bottom 12%, the absolute worst performers, thought they were in the top 62nd percentile. Let that sink in. The people who were the worst at something were convinced they were above average. And the experts, the top students, they did the opposite. They slightly underestimated themselves. Okay, so students in a lab. Maybe that's just college kids being college kids, right? Except this happens everywhere. In the United States, 88% of drivers believe they are better than average. Mathematically, that's impossible. When medical interns were asked if they could teach others how to draw blood from a vein, 100% of them said yes. Their supervisors agreed in only 10% of cases. For catheterization, 80% of interns thought they were ready to teach it. Their mentors said 0%. Let me repeat that, 0. And it gets worse. When programmers at 2 major tech companies were asked to rank their own skills, 32% at the first company and 42% at the second placed themselves in the top 5%. The math on that simply does not work. So why does this happen? The answer is something called metacognition. It's your brain's ability to think about its own thinking. To step back and honestly ask, am I actually good at this? And here's the trap. The skills you need to be good at something are the exact same skills you need to recognize that you're good at something. If you don't have them, you can't even see that you don't have them. You don't know what you don't know. And worse, you don't know that you don't know. In 1871, Charles Darwin wrote this: "Ignorance more frequently begets confidence than does knowledge." He was right. And 128 years later, 2 scientists at Cornell proved it. So now you know, the Dunning-Kruger effect is real. It's a fundamental bug in human cognition. It explains why your uncle argues about vaccines on Facebook. It explains why your coworker who can't code keeps reviewing your code. It explains almost everything. Except, here's the part nobody on YouTube will tell you. The Dunning-Kruger effect might not exist. Starting in 2002, scientists started pointing something out, something uncomfortable. If you're in the bottom 5% of a test, you literally cannot accurately estimate your score, because you only have 4% of space to go lower, but you have 95% of space to go higher. It's mathematics. It's called regression to the mean, and it means the effect might just be a graph. In 2022, researcher Blair Fix published a paper with a brutal title. The Dunning-Kruger Effect is autocorrelation. Translation: the effect they found in 1999 might just be a mathematical illusion, a ghost in the statistics. The most famous cognitive bias in history might be the result of people doing math wrong. Okay, let's be fair. Dunning didn't disappear when the critics came. He responded, yes, there's statistical noise. Yes, regression to the mean plays a role. But even after you correct for all of that, the effect is still there. And the numbers are still disturbing. Incompetent people overestimate themselves 4 times more than experts underestimate themselves. So what's the truth? The truth is somewhere in the middle. The Dunning-Kruger effect is real, but it's not as dramatic as the internet thinks. It's not a cliff you fall off when you start learning. It's not a peak of stupidity followed by a valley of despair. Those famous images you see everywhere, they are not from the original study. Someone made them up, and the internet ran with it. The real effect is quieter, and honestly, that makes it scarier. Here's what most people get wrong about Dunning-Kruger. They think it's about other people, stupid people, arrogant people, that one guy at work. Not them, never them. But here's the thing. You are an expert in maybe 1 field. 2, if you're lucky. In every other area of human knowledge, medicine, law, physics, biology, finance, psychology, history, you are a beginner. Which means right now, in this exact moment, you are experiencing the Dunning-Kruger effect in approximately 5,000 different topics, simultaneously. You just don't know which ones. So what do you do about it? Dunning's original research actually gave us one answer. In the 1999 study, they took students who scored in the bottom percentile, students who thought they were in the 55th. 20 minutes of training. Just 20 minutes. And something strange happened. After the training, these students didn't rate themselves higher. They rated themselves lower. They dropped their self-assessment from the 55th percentile all the way down to the 32nd, because for the first time, they could actually see how bad they had been. Competence brings calibration. The more you know, the more you realize what you don't. And that moment, that uncomfortable, humbling, slightly terrifying moment, is the closest humans ever get to actually understanding themselves. So here's your homework. Take any topic you're absolutely sure about, and ask yourself honestly, have I ever actually studied this? Have I ever read the real research? Or am I just confident? If that question makes you uncomfortable, congratulations. Your brain just did something most brains never do. It noticed itself misfiring. This is Misfiring, the channel about everything your brain hides from you. Next episode, why your memories are lies. Actual, proven, scientific lies. Subscribe. Or don't. But remember, that's a decision your brain is making right now. And your brain has a history.